What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to this YouTube channel. This is Q and Trixie in the Philippines. If you're new to the channel, here on this channel, we talk about our personal experiences, just traveling in the Philippines, and just want to share that journey with you. And if that sounds interesting, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. And for our returning subscribers and returning viewers, thank you for your support. We really do appreciate it. It means the world to us. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the video. I want to share, or rather highlight, some of the things that I noticed that I have in common with Filipino people. And it's just, some of the things I really noticed and just observing. Um, and I just want to share that with you. And it's starting with number one, poverty. But it's not because of the lack of jobs, not necessarily the lack of being late, not being lazy, but it stems from being colonized. If we can root everything back, because Manila was once the hub, the central hub for a lot of these places. The same thing with, Africa. Africa was the central hub for natural resources. But after being colonized, a lot of things came from that poverty, um, being one of them, slavery being one of them, you know, and that's just something that I notice and that I see in the Filipino people. You know, it's not necessarily the poverty itself, but it's the resilience to continue to keep striving despite the poverty. That's what I see. That's what we have in common. That right there, the resilience to keep striving, to keep going, despite being held back, despite being, you know, colonized. It's the resilience. They're not going to let anything stop them. They're going to still keep pushing forward and still keep going. That's why I hate saying that the Philippines is a third world country, because it's not a third world country. If I was shocked, I was expecting, like, dirt roads everywhere, you know, no supply of water, nothing. But no, it is a developing country. That's the right term to use. But yeah, that's what we have in common. It's the resilience to keep going despite the hardships. We're both strong people. We both been through some tough times, but we still smile. We're still good people, and we don't let that hold us back. So the resilience is number one. The second thing I noticed that I have in common with Filipino people is basketball. We both love basketball. It's crazy because, like, the Philippines, the number one sport is like basketball. I promise you. Everywhere I go, I see a basketball court. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Every time I hoop, they be like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. I'm like, oh, how do they know about him? That's crazy. Basketball has reached this point, but it's the same way with Black American culture. Our number one sport is basketball. When we're taught as a kid, you know, to try to be like LeBron James, to be like Kobe Bryant. Those are our staple idols for basketball. But yeah, we both love it. And it's not necessarily just a sport, it's a way to socialize, it's a way to display your creativity. So, yeah, that's a huge one, is that we both love basketball. The next thing that I noticed that I have in common with Filipino people is we both love to laugh. We both love to tell jokes. Like, we have a sense of humor despite the hardships. We find a way to tell jokes to get us through the tough times. And that's something I noticed. Filipino people, they'll tell jokes, you know, and we also do the same thing, but it's, like I said, it's to get through hard times sometimes, but we just love to laugh. We don't like to be down and out and, so focused on the situation, so focused on the negatives. Instead, we choose to focus on the positives. And a way to focus on the positives is by laughing and sharing jokes, to uplift our spirits, to make our day a little bit more better. So that's something that, Black Americans to a T, every person I know who's from a different race will say the same thing. Man, black people, they love to tell jokes. They're a jokester. Same thing I see with Filipino people. They don't like to focus on the negatives. They rather focus on the positives, and how they display that is through laughs and telling jokes. Next, the food. Yes, guys. Despite our differences, we share a lot in common, and food is one of them. Chicken adobo, fried chicken. Those two we share in common. Baked chicken, Filipino people like is considered adobo chicken, fried chicken for us Black Americans. But nevertheless, we share that in common. And it's not necessarily the food itself, but the food symbolizes and derived from a time where we were we were in suppression under suppression throughout being colonized. We had to pretty much make do with what we have. It's what you call the struggle meal. And another thing I noticed, what is it, pancit canton, I think that's what it's called, which is basically like ramen noodles for Americans. Dude, that is a struggle meal for Black Americans, I promise you. But I noticed, like, my wife, oh yeah, pancit canton. I'm like, we talking about those noodles? Yeah. So, we share that in common too, struggle meals. So, chicken, noodles, those are struggle meals derived from what we had to make do out of what we have. Yeah, so that's something I noticed we share in common. It's pretty cool, though, that we can make something out of nothing, real magic right there. And the last thing I noticed that I share with the Filipino people is music. Oh my gosh, karaoke is huge in the Philippines. It's absolutely crazy. Now, me personally, I'm very conservative. I'm not really a karaoke guy, but man, all my family members love karaoke. Black people love karaoke. They love music. Like, they can play music 1 a.m., 5 a.m. It don't matter what time it is. Music, music, music. And that's the same way it is in the Philippines. Like, I was shocked. Man, my wife, fiance, soon to be wife, bro, she was playing music at like 2, 3 a.m. Bro, I'm like, I was shocked. I'm like, lady, what is you doing? Not necessarily what you doing, but it just caught me off guard because I didn't know, she would do that. But yeah, they love music. Like, music is a way for them to obviously express themselves, but to socialize and socialize and bond with each other. That's the same way with us Black Americans. Music once upon a time used to be folks tale. It used to be a way to pass on messages, a way to share stories to the next generation, which is very powerful. And it still has that same effect today. So Filipino peoples and Black Americans, we definitely share that same thing in common, which is music. We both love music. Music is a way of expression, bonding, and really socialize. So there you have it. Those are the things that I have in common with Filipino people. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Until next time, peace.